Welcome back to Bazaar Morning Call. Let's now focus on the media and entertainment industry. The merged entity PVR Inox has introduced screening of movie trailers for 30 minutes at the cost of just ₹1 in a bid to shore up footfalls. This comes at a time when multiplexes are grappling with poor occupancies. Shilpa Ranipeta caught up with Sanjeev Kumar Bijli, the executive director PVR Inox, on the sidelines of PVR Pictures releasing a new anime movie, Suzumi, in India. Shilpa began by asking about these anime films, the business and their outlook going forward. Listen in.
Released about over maybe 6-7 films. There seems to be a film, an anime film that gets released after every, say, 2 months.
Okay.
Some of them, as I said, have done extremely well, $500,000 or $600,000 in gross box office. Some of them have not done that well, but overall we're very happy with the response.
You know, to talk about PVR Inox Pictures, I wanted to understand how big is this a business for PVR Inox overall at this point, and how does this also contribute towards the growth of the overall group?
Well, it's always been a very important subsidiary. I think PVR Inox Pictures as a distribution company has been a very important subsidiary because it's, first of all, it's a sizable business in terms of 200 crores and growing. And this, you know, and in a good year, we can even do a revenue of 300 crores because you have to understand the revenue is a function of the overall box office in the country.
Of course.
So since 22-23 has been a lower number of box office, that not that many movies have done well. You know, that's why it's a probably slightly depressed number. But if this year, with the kind of pipeline and the kind of movies that we're doing, you know, that number could go up to 300 crores. So from a revenue point of view, it's very essential. And from a strategic point of view also, I think it adds a lot of value because we are able to bring diversified content to our cinemas.
And you know, you just said, right, that 2022-23 has been sort of a slow year for movies. We just saw 1 or 2 very big hits that have come in. Going forward also, what's it looking like? Do you think this lull period is going to go on for a while? Do you think, I mean, when do you think we'll be able to really get to pre-COVID levels of footfalls, of occupancy rates?
You know, again, this is an exciting year, exciting pipeline of films again. And I'm always going to be optimistic and sanguine about the fact that we're going to bounce back to the pre-pandemic levels soon.
Okay.
So I wouldn't say Q1, Q2, maybe Q2, Q3 of this year.
Okay.
We should be looking at, you know, good solid numbers and people coming back to the cinemas. I feel last year was could be a combination of content that did not connect. And also perhaps that people had only content to watch during the lockdown, you know, and they wanted to do different things.
Right.
I think last year was a year of freedom. Let's travel, let's you know, meet relatives and friends and, you know, do other things that we weren't doing, going out, eating, drinking, traveling and all that. But I think that also has to plateau.
Okay.
How much of that can you also do? You know, that's something which also will find its level. And then the whole cycle of consumption of various entertainment activities will come back to normal.
Right.
Which I believe will happen this year.
I wanted to talk about the F&B bit. Now, before the merger of PVR and Inox also, for both individually, F&B was a very large segment.
Yeah.
And that was, and that is, I mean, is a revenue driver as well, even from a margin standpoint. So I wanted to understand now that we're looking at a merged entity, how does the F&B play out? Because again, both had different types or different sort of cultures of F&B also. Inox was always vegetarian, whereas PVR had non-veg. So how are you looking at the combined F&B play for PVR Inox, and the amount of contribution that it does to the business? Do you see that changing in any way?
No, absolutely. I think we've given guidelines on revenue, synergy revenues, on F&B to the markets and our investors, and we're very confident that we'll be able to enhance that F&B number by, I don't know, 8 to 10% roughly. And a lot of that comes from adopting best practices. There's a lot of stuff that Inox was doing which was brilliant. There's a lot of stuff that we were doing which was different. which actually gave us a higher spend per head.
This 30-minute trailer show,
Yes,
right?
yes.
I just wanted to get one comment from you, was that while we did see you did see great response, I think 36,000 people in 4 days.
Yeah.
But when we spoke to a few analysts, etc., you know, the sort of the tone that came off was it looked like a desperate attempt to bring back footfalls because that's not happening. I just wanted to get your view on that.
I don't know what to say to the analysts. If we don't do anything, then we're not doing anything. When we're not doing enough to get people back, and if we do something, then it's desperate. I mean, I don't think that's a fair statement by the analysts, because you know, companies have to try, innovate,
Of course.
do different things all the time. Our role is to actually go ahead and do you know, experiments and see what works and what doesn't work.
That's interesting. Go to the theatre and watch a 30-minute trailer. I've never done that, but I would love to try. And you pay just 1 rupee for it. Of course, you have to spend those 30 minutes doing something, so perhaps consume some F&B as well. That may be the strategy there. But that's PVR for you, talking about the business and the way forward. Well.